Hello, everybody. Scott Golden here with the Pro Wrestling Logic YouTube channel and the World Class Championship Wrestling Review series. We move into the 9th of July for 1983, so we are in the middle of summer, right after the 4th of July here in the States, and things are continuing to soldier on. We've just come off a couple of weeks of the Reunion Arena show, which was a big deal. So a little bit slower program here, as is to be expected over the next couple of weeks. But needless to say, there is a couple of storyline developments and a couple of really good matches. One of which is Johnny Mantell and Chris Adams. They have, if you're an independent wrestler watching this, if you're someone who just likes the more mat-based wrestling style of the program. There's two matches on this show that are worthwhile going out of your way to see. Chris Adams and Mantell being the first of them. That is certainly a more technical masterpiece, as both guys are very evenly matched here. Adams holding on to the arm bars quite a bit and trying to keep the match on the mat as much as possible. Mantell coming up when necessary, but I mean literally they get 2-3 minutes out of wrist locks and hammer locks and just really working holds, making the art of wrestling the center of the contest, and you don't see that much anymore. But here, if you are a guy who's hurt or a guy who gets hurt easily or has been hurt easily or whatever, definitely worth going out of your way to check this out, if for no other reason than because if you're hurt and you need to get 10-15 minutes out of a match, holds can still work. And a lot of people say, oh, it's 2020, that can't be, but that's certainly not the case. Adams with some really intense leaping elbow drops and just and basic things here. They're given about 10 full minutes, and they actually go to a time limit draw. Actually shaking hands post match. We then go into a David Von Erich promo with the topics being Jimmy Garvin and Harley Race. Of course, David apologizing for costing Kevin the match the previous week. Certainly wanting to check on his brother. They review the footage and show that Harley Race is the aggressor. Also talks about wanting to get rid of Jimmy Garvin once and for all, and they'll settle up on the Texas Championship and how Sunshine continually interferes. They also set a stipulation for the weeks to come where if either one loses, the loser must be the servant of the winner. I don't think they stipulate the length of time, but so either Garvin and his valet Sunshine will be the servant of David Von Erich, or vice versa, and the American champion to be determined there as well. Needless to say, another really good match in terms of wrestling style. Chavo Guerrero against Rip Rogers. Rogers knew. Guerrero showing off agility early. Rogers has been a journeyman wrestler in the Kentucky area, as well as the Maritimes and other places. Rogers, of course, probably one of the most prolific trainers of the last 20-25 years, doing a lot of his training with Ohio Valley Wrestling and many of the stars you see today. John Cena, Batista, Mike Bennett, and a whole host of others all went through the camp of Rip Rogers 10-15 years ago. Rogers, to my knowledge, still does train, at least some schools and some area schools. Rogers really steps up here and hangs with Chavo Guerrero. One of the better television matches I think I've seen Rogers in. Rogers, unfortunately, is a guy who doesn't get as much credit in the ring as he should because he was never the star in a major territory. Guerrero able to work over the leg of his opponent for several minutes here, and actually returns to it several times, tries to get an inside cradle, tries to get a leg grapevine submission or something of the sort. And several drop kicks and speed related maneuvers by Guerrero to get things going in his direction. Hits the flying forearm type maneuver as well. And then a spinning wheel hip attack. I think they're going for the spinning heel kick, but not more hip hits than foot. But regardless, a win for Chavo Guerrero. Mike Bond against Mr. Ebony up next, and we all know where that's going to go. Ebony, a member of the stable of Skandar Akbar, and Ebony takes a very power-based approach to his match here. He is dominant. However, I mean, to be fair, not that he gets a lot of time, but there is a choke out and a full Nelson both by Mr. Ebony, and gets a quick victory over Mike Bond. But Bond does get a few offensive maneuvers in the beginning. Then we see another Kerry Von Erich versus Terry Gordy singles match to close the program. They've met literally by this time at least a dozen times, if not more, on television in tag team matches and the like, and singles matches as well. So this is more of the same basic fare for these two guys, but never bad to say the least. We move through the stylistic differences, as Kerry is a guy who is a little more speedy. Gordy certainly focuses more on power, whereas Kerry is a little bit quicker. Kerry is powerful in his own right, but it's a different type of power. Even here, it's clear to see that Kerry is still regarded as probably maybe most marketable in a bigger way of the Von Erichs. Surprisingly, there's a lot of go-rounds with arm locks and arm bars. High cross body for a near fall by Kerry, which is very believable for the standard of the match, but they keep going. And the referee has difficulty in keeping everybody at bay. Actually see a slowdown in the match as a bear hug to slow Kerry down a little bit. Match does seem to get away from just a tad, but Kerry spends several minutes in the bear hug, and Jimmy Garvin comes to the outside, perhaps to interfere and make trouble for Kerry, just because of the issues with the Von Erichs, and then we kind of go into seeing the match a little bit differently. Sidewalk slam by Gordy, or actually backbreaker by Gordy. It looks like Gordy's going to get the victory, but Kerry able to balance his weight a little differently. Bruiser Brody on the outside too, trips Gordy up and roll through pin, and Kerry gets your victory for this week. And so that is the support there, and that is the victory for the week as we close with a brawl of everybody kind of entering into the ring to close the program. We close July 9th with everybody, at least half a dozen people in the ring. And until next time, keep your feet on the ground, your mind in the moment.